Okay, let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer. Over the next 10 minutes, we are going on a rapid-fire, visually stunning journey beneath the surface of our planet's waters. Seriously, it's going to be impossible to take your eyes off the screen as we move constantly from one awe-inspiring aquatic and geological wonder to the next. We're going to explore their intoxicating, almost alien beauty, but also, absolutely crucially, the urgent need to protect them before they're gone for good. I'm incredibly excited to guide you through this because the sheer scale of what's hidden beneath the waves is just mind-blowing. So, I want you to ask yourself a quick question. What if the world's greatest museums and natural wonders were hidden entirely underwater? Just imagine plunging beneath the surface to discover lost ancient empires, sprawling art galleries, and staggering geological formations that land dwellers literally never get to see. Our oceans and lakes, they aren't just empty expanses of blue. They are dynamic, hidden worlds completely teeming with history and life. And today, we are pulling back the curtain on these submerged masterpieces. All right, Section 1, Submerged History and Art, Uncovering Human Secrets Beneath the Waves. Let's dive in. We're starting our descent in the shallows of human history, where the ocean has literally swallowed centuries of architecture and art, and the bizarre contrasts you find down here are wild. On the archaeological side, over in Baia, Italy, you can literally scuba dive past the imperial steam baths of a sunken Roman luxury spa. No way, right? Then you have artificial art museums like Musa in Mexico, where artist Jason DeCaires Taylor sunk over 500 sculptures to create a massive artificial reef that actually helps coral grow. And then there are military sites. In Jordan, they intentionally sank 21 wartime exhibits. We're talking tanks and helicopters in battle formation. It is a completely surreal experience. But hey, what if you prefer to stay dry? Well, the Baihiliang Underwater Museum in China has you covered. Originally, this was a massive natural stone ridge in the Yangtze River used as a hydrographic survey station for 1,200 years. When the Three Gorges Dam was built, this priceless historic site was permanently flooded. But instead of just losing it to the depths, they spent $30 million building a deep water viewing tunnel. Now you can just take an escalator down, look through the windows, and gaze right at ancient fish sculptures encased in purified water. It's a total game changer for preserving human history. Moving right along to Section 2, Nature's Underwater Masterpieces, Bizarre and Beautiful Aquatic Phenomena. Stepping away from human creations, let's swim into the deep where nature herself plays visual tricks and carves out these staggering landscapes right on the seafloor. The ocean loves to deceive and delight us. For instance, check out the famous underwater waterfall off the coast of Mauritius. It looks exactly like a massive, plunging waterfall right in the middle of the ocean. But actually, scratch that. It's a giant optical illusion created by silt and sand sliding down an underwater slope. On the flip side, you have Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas. This is definitely no illusion. It's a genuine, plunging, circular shaft of deep salt water. Drop in and you're in an abyss packed with friendly turtles, tiny seahorses, and snappers. One is a trick of the sand, the other is a dizzying dive into the earth. And if we're talking natural magic, get a load of this. Green Lake in Austria puts on an absolutely incredible seasonal show. Most of the year, it's just a beautiful mountain park, but when that summer snowmelt rushes down, the water levels spike and literally swallow the entire park. For a brief, magical window, scuba divers can plunge in and swim right over park benches, beaches, and through the lush green foliage of a sunken forest. It's a completely surreal, temporary underwater wonderland. Okay, Section 3, the Coral Triangle, and beyond, Earth's explosive marine biodiversity. As we dive even deeper into this explainer, we enter the planet's most vibrant biological engine rooms. And we gotta start with the undisputed crown jewel of the ocean, 80%. I really want you to let that number sink in for a second. That staggering figure is the percentage of all the world's coral species found in just one single region, Raja Ampat, Indonesia. To put that into perspective, this area boasts 10 times the coral diversity of the entire Caribbean Sea. It is without a doubt the richest marine biodiversity hotspot on the whole planet. You can really see the striking contrast here between the surface and the deep. This view shows exactly what organizations like the Barefoot Conservation Project are fighting tooth and nail to protect. Up top, you've got this breathtaking, pristine archipelago of 1,500 small islands. But below, It's a kaleidoscopic wonderland. We're talking 1,350 species of fish, 6 of the world's 7 marine turtle species, and 27 varieties of marine mammals. It's an ecosystem of unimaginable complexity. Meanwhile, across the globe, there's another biological powerhouse, the Red Sea, home to over 1,200 species of fish. And get this, a full 10% of those aren't found anywhere else on Earth. But its real superpower? Resilience. These corals are remarkably heat resilient, surviving the warming waters that are bleaching other reefs globally. And that makes it a critical natural asset. In fact, a UNEP study estimates the Red Sea's coral reefs alone contribute a jaw-dropping $160 billion to the global economy every single year through tourism, fisheries, and ecosystem services. Absolutely massive. Section 4, where water shapes land, the violent terrestrial power of ice and sea. Let's briefly surface from the tropical depths and head to the freezing coast of Iceland. Here, we can actually see how water and ice violently sculpt the land itself. Take Skogafoss waterfall, for instance. Standing at the base of this thunderous 60-meter drop, you might just think, wow, beautiful waterfall. But geologically, you are literally looking at a former coastline. That cliff face was the edge of the ocean 10,000 years ago. The flat land stretching out toward the modern ocean was built up over millennia by glacial meltwater and massive volcanic ash deposits. It's a stunning record of fire and ice battling it out. Just down the coast at Reefs, water colliding with lava creates something totally different. This is nature showing off its perfect geometry. These striking hexagonal basalt columns formed when lava cooled slowly, causing contraction fractures to organize into this super efficient packing pattern, literally the same math behind honeycombs. But listen, this beach comes with a serious warning label. The ocean here is incredibly dangerous. It's notorious for sneaker waves, rogue waves that surge out of nowhere, rush far up the beach, and drag back with a freezing, deadly undertow. The beauty here absolutely demands your respect. Which brings us to Section 5, protecting our hidden worlds, from passive observer to active protector. Look, the intoxicating allure of these sites is undeniable. But it brings us to a really crucial turning point, the desperate need for conservation. Coral reef ecologist Dr. Anjani Ganase issued this really powerful challenge. She says, visit 10 coral reefs in 2026. This is the challenge to know your marine backyard and help drive its protection. She's basically saying we need to put eyes on the reef. Physically witnessing the beauty and, frankly, the degradation of these places is the absolute best way to inspire us to demand environmental change. You can't protect what you don't know, right? And the urgency is so real when you look at places like Tobago's famed coral gardens. These corals are tough. They've survived multiple severe bleaching events, but they have limits. Right now, they are literally suffocating under the weight of human impact. We're talking boats dropping anchors directly on the fragile reefs, chronic pollution, and runaway coastal development. It's a textbook example of where we desperately need immediate intervention and strict marine protection laws before these gardens disappear on our watch. But hey, the good news? We actually know how to fix this. Frameworks like Roland Berger's Sustainable Red Sea model are a total game changer. They lay out 4 clear steps. First, marine spatial planning, basically setting hard limits on how many tourists a reef can handle. Second, enabling infrastructure, like deploying mooring buoys so boats stop dropping those destructive anchors. Third, sustainable financing through cool things like blue bonds and biodiversity credits. And finally, awareness programs to empower the local communities. This proves that tourism can actually fund the ocean's survival, not just its destruction. And that leads us to our final thought for today. As we explore these sunken cities, these ancient coasts, and impossibly vibrant reefs, we have to ask ourselves, will our presence help finance their survival or just hasten their disappearance? Ultimately, the fate of our underwater world really rests on that vital question. It challenges every single one of us to travel not just as wide-eyed explorers, but as fierce protectors of the deep. Thanks so much for joining me on this 10-minute explainer, and I hope you dive into your next adventure with a renewed sense of wonder.